At first glance, Iran looks like a country that should be vulnerable to a major military strike. It doesn't have the same global reach as the United States. It's surrounded by rivals, and it's been under heavy sanctions for years. But despite all of that, even the most powerful militaries in the world treat the idea of attacking Iran very carefully. And the reason isn't just one thing. It's a combination of geography, strategy, and the way Iran has built its entire system around making any attack far more complicated than it seems. The first layer is geography, because Iran isn't flat or easily accessible. It's covered in mountains, deserts, and vast distances that make any ground operation slow and exposed, and unlike smaller countries where key targets are close together, Iran's infrastructure is spread out, meaning there's no single strike that can disable everything at once. But modern conflicts aren't just about invasions, so the more realistic question is, what happens if a country like the US or Israel tries to weaken Iran through airstrikes or precision attacks? And this is where things get more difficult, because Iran has spent decades preparing for exactly that scenario, dispersing its military assets, hardening key facilities, and in some cases, building them deep underground, making them much harder to destroy with conventional strikes. This means that even a large-scale bombing campaign wouldn't guarantee success, because many of the most important targets are designed to survive or recover. And then there's the regional factor, because Iran doesn't operate alone. It has built a network of allied groups across the Middle East, from Lebanon to Iraq to Yemen, which means that any attack on Iran itself could quickly expand into a much wider conflict across multiple fronts, targeting shipping routes, military bases, and regional allies. This creates a situation where striking Iran isn't just about hitting one country, it's about managing the ripple effects that follow. At the same time, Iran has invested heavily in asymmetric capabilities, things like missile systems, drones, and fast-attack naval units that are specifically designed to disrupt larger, more advanced forces, especially in narrow areas like the Strait of Hormuz, where a relatively small action can have massive global consequences by affecting oil shipments and trade. And this is where the real difficulty becomes clear, because even if a country could successfully damage Iran's military or infrastructure, controlling what happens next becomes far less predictable, since escalation could happen in multiple directions at once across land, sea, and proxy conflicts. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes Iran so difficult to deal with, not because it can't be attacked, but because any attack turns into a chain reaction that is hard to contain, where the outcome depends less on the initial strike and more on everything that follows.